Hi everyone. Tonight with the Gauntlet, we are playing 360 Heartgrab, otherwise known as 360 Indie Heartgrab. Um, this is a game about skateboarding and skateboarders. My name is Donna. My pronouns are he, him. I am going to be GMing the game. So let's get a quick intro from our players and their characters, and let's start left to right in the character keeper.
Gosh, that puts me up first, doesn't it? Hi, I am Puckett. I use he, him pronouns. Tonight I'll be playing Lacey Carter, a young woman who uses she, her pronouns, who is a daredevil and basically really great on the board and kind of really crap at everything else. But this is what happens when you focus on skating to the exclusion of pretty much everything else. You know, get good at one thing and bad at everything that isn't that thing. So, whatever. I can skate. That's all I need, right?
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Bucket. Sabine, how about you?
Hi, my name is Sabine. I use any pronouns. I'm going to play Tori. This is she or they pronouns. Tori is the good luck charm. Tori is, well, she hasn't skated for a long time, right? But she kind of likes it. Maybe someone put her up, a girlfriend or something put her up to that. But, it's kind of, kind of seems to be fun. She does not have a lot of experience with skating. She knows some other stuff, but yeah, who cares about math, right? When you're skating, so I guess. But she doesn't have to win, right? Because it's not about winning; it's about skating, right? Right. I'll win eventually something.
All right, I'm the real. I'm a he, so my character is Charlie. That's he grew up a boy in a family a bit out of town with many little sisters, brothers. So growing up, he took some concern about the way high school was treating kids. So he wanted his freedom, and he went out skating. He's not very good at it, but is working on his board most of the weekend.
Awesome. So, I guess the setting that we have, Sunshine City, which is written in, I guess is Los Angeles or something. Maybe, who knows? But I imagine that this place is a real center for skating. So a lot of skaters moving in here, maybe trying to go pro or just trying to get skate with some really important skaters or some mentorship going on. So I guess want to get a sense from each of you, of the circumstances, like why you skate in the same neighborhood or why you hang out together. Or are you just kind of thrown together for this race? Puckett, what do you think? What's kind of Lacey's place in this local skateboarding community?
I mean, I moved out here because California has so little rain, so you can skate almost every day. And frankly, I think I'm skating in this area because there's, a lot of rails, a lot of stairs, a lot of schools which have a lot of features that have just kind of been. That's just kind of where stuff gets thrown down. Always has, probably always will. I mean, you don't skate in a park. I mean, where's the fun in that?
Great. And Sabine, how about Tori?
Yeah, I think she's a bit of a fan. Lacey's pretty darn cool, right? And maybe she's kind of followed her to that special wherever we hang out to catch some tricks. I mean, to learn some tricks that she doesn't know the terminology totally well. So, yeah.
Who better to learn from, right? Cool. And Daryl, how about Charlie? What's we get a sense of Charlie's board writing, but what else does he see here?
So it's a bit of the same as Tori. What happened when the parents moved in Los Angeles or the city? They couldn't afford a house or a flat in town, really. So he comes all the way to the city from the east. And at first he wanted to just hang out and find some spot to practice, some kind of park. And what happens is, well, skating is just moving through the city. So that's what he understood when he saw Lacey grinding downstairs and going her way through the city. So that he decided that was the way to go. When he met Tori, he saw something like a cooler, much cooler little sister to him.
Awesome. Do we think there's a connection between Lacey and Charlie? Maybe Charlie is cooked up a board or fixed a board for Lacey from time to time.
I was going to say, at the very least, I mean, I don't know about fixing a board, because once a board goes, it just goes. Like if you crack the tail, you're not going to fix that. But it might be the case that Charlie has figured out a couple of ways to tweak my boards to either take weight off so that I can get my ollies to pop higher, or, in some way helped me skate better. I mean, does that make sense to you?
Absolutely. It's
Okay.
just it's just maybe first shopping, knowing how to shop. You just don't shop for coolness. You have to shop for weight first. So yeah, we
What do you mean
worked on
shopping?
that.
You think I buy my gear?
You win it.
I steal it.
Me, I want to win it from the race because it's beginning to cost.
This is why you steal things. If you
Oh,
steal it,
no.
it doesn't cost anything.
I can't get caught with your upper class parents. You're forgiven anything. I just can't.
We'll work on that.
Awesome. So I think probably what we have is some kind of unofficial race. There's a skater in town called Mir Condor, and I think she is up and coming, or maybe like the most successful local skater in recent times. And she is setting a race to find someone to go with her to nationals, or some big national competition. So I think whoever wins this race will get to go with her. So it's not going to be like pure skating. It's going to be kind of a mix of general skatiness, skateboardedness. I don't know. I'm sure there's a proper term. So yeah. So Daryl, what's Charlie's connection with Mir? What do you know about her?
Oh, mostly I know her from the magazines, but when I heard she was on the radio, I went to the place, to the radio studio, and I don't know, I bumped into her. I wanted to impress her, and she just noticed me, but nothing special. I don't know her more than that.
Do you think she noticed like you're bored, maybe even more than you?
No, I think the cockiness. I was really. I'm not a cool guy. I'm really shy, so I overdid it, and that's what she noticed mostly.
Okay. Did you get into a spill or you burn some skin doing something to impress?
Really, I had something a little preset, and I did my set, and it didn't shred really. But maybe what caught her eye without me knowing was the way I left. That is, when I left, I was so casual, and there was something I couldn't tell. Like it was like breathing. It was so natural for me.
Cool. How about Tori? What's Tori's connection, or what has she heard about Mir?
Okay. It's the connection here. Is she my sister? Maybe she's my sister. Is that too much?
No, that's not too much.
Okay, so she's my half sister.
Okay.
Yes, she lives with the other part of the family. We don't live with the same. We have the same father, but we live with different mothers, or vice versa. Yeah, exactly. She is my half sister. She lives with my mother and her new husband, and I live with my two dads. And it's complicated, but I know her from family things and stuff like that. And I knew she was kind of into skating. I didn't know she was such a big deal until I got into the scene myself. So I feel it's maybe destiny or something to do with the DNA. I don't know. I feel like it's a bit weird if I show up and say, "Hey, sis," but I don't know.
Is that where you got your board, or have you been able to scrounge one up?
No, I've got it for my birthday.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not poor or anything. I'm just, my dad's gave it to me for my birthday because I said I wanted one, and then they said, yeah. One of my dads was a skater when he was young. He said he was cool. I don't believe that, not for a second, but you have to humor them, these old guys.
Cool. And how about Lacey?
Oh, Mir and I, we've had something of a rivalry. I think she posts never been done challenges on Instagram, and just it tends to make her a little frustrated when I start knocking out her NBD lists at the spots that she's identified, as pretty much as soon as I can get there, just to kind of say, come on, seriously? And I don't post them on Instagram because Instagram is for influencers. I just post crappy little videos on a skating website skating forum. You know, just like, come on, I've got better stuff to do. They're super grainy and you can see what's going on, but you know, it looks like I shot it on a flip phone instead of some sort of camera or something.
Or
So
you need somebody with a better phone to take pictures of you.
You're not lying.
That might have been my in, that I have a better phone than you do, and can take pictures and can upload them, because I'm not that bad at uploading stuff. I'm not an influencer. I'm not.
Well, and honestly, you probably have a camera on your phone that can shoot in slow motion so you can see what I'm doing.
I mean, it
So-
can shoot in slow motion, but I can't replay in slow motion. So
Yeah.
So how is Mir going to nationals and not Lacey? That's what I want to know now.
Because I don't give a shit about contests. Contests are for posers.
You're just jealous.
Might be. Okay. So we've got a pretty good idea of our crew, as accidental as it might be. So I think, let's take our break now and be back on the hour, if that sounds good. Okay, we're back. So I think you are all here for one reason or another, to partake in Mir's competition. Here's something to ask as players. Do we want to have some NPC skaters, like in terms of mechanically competing, or just the three of you in terms of yeah, it's a competition. Or at least a race for Mir to pick someone to go to nationals with her.
I kind of feel like we should have some NPCs.
yeah, some mean NPCs that we
Yeah.
Excellent.
I picture like a kind of anti-Charlie NPC that would be a bit of somehow like Lacey, someone older, meaner, with an attitude at least, and much more an aerial style, a style that is garish is not the word, but something that strikes over the top. Yeah, those kids performing all day in a public place, they are just for the show. They just want to show off. So that's my anti-Charlie.
Okay. So the NPCs work pretty much the same way as PCs when they're started out. They don't have heart, but they have prowess, which is kind of how they do it. So they just don't help people. And I guess they're unlikely to get much help if they're mean and show offy. So I will take. I will use the fourth space for a PC to do Tommy's stats, and I guess do we think aerialist, or do we think a heal is where we want to go with Tommy?
It's a hill.
Heal.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Excellent.
We just look at his hair and his smirk.
A natural villain.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So,
I don't know. I think he's kind of cute, maybe.
sure, but still with a smirk and still,
I mean, yeah, but maybe he's just, maybe he has had a difficult childhood or something.
maybe.
Or maybe just the sun in the eyes.
I just think I like to think the best of people.
Okay, so that is Tommy started out. Okay.
Is he good, really good? He's a menace to us?
I think he is a menace, yeah. I think he's a menace. I mean, he's competition. He is maybe not quite as naturally gifted as Lacey, or not as good as Lacey, but he's got some game. Yeah, I picked the surprise gimmick for him, which is definitely downright nasty heel-like move. Okay, cool. Okay, so yeah, what let's fill in a little bit of details when you get to this place. So I think the place for this get together is like up in some kind of outlying, or it's Los Angeles, I guess. So it's like sprawling. So um, on one of the hills, there's a relatively small. Yeah, we can have an abandoned mall. Yeah, yeah. Like overlooking this maybe relatively down run or downtrodden suburb or kind of urban center. Um, so yeah, and there's a fair number of skaters here, and probably some of them are lightweights, and maybe there's a couple who probably don't want to be here in terms of the prize, but just want to be here to hang out. So I think maybe Tommy is the first person you see here who is like both a threat and interested. Puckett, what do you notice about Tommy? What is he doing that kind of makes you a little bit nervous?
He's talking to Mira and they seem a little too friendly. Feels like a setup.
That's shocking.
Like they are sharing this Coke? Really? Like they're sharing food? Mer and Tommy?
I think they're just talking, and it looks like they're in cahoots.
Sabine, how about Tori? Like, I guess, what kind of sense do you get from your half sister about this? You got some kind of inside track on her personality, or at least things maybe your dad has told you about her.
Yeah, I think when she talks to Tommy, she's acting friendly, but she's seems almost worried, right? This guy, maybe he's got something on her. I don't know. That would be mean.
So, like, what does she do that that makes you think that she's kind of worried? Is there like a nervousness, or does
Yeah,
she look over at you?
she has this way of tucking her hair behind her ears when she's really not very comfortable in a situation, and she's constantly doing that. And she wouldn't do that if she was. She really liked hanging around with Tommy, and since she's usually quite an honest person, I think there has to be some sort of reason, right, that she's so nervous.
Okay. And the real, how about Charlie? Do you think, in terms of maybe people wrecking their boards, is Tommy like a regular customer of yours, or maybe maybe the people he races against are regular customers of yours? What do you think?
No, I couldn't approach Tommy's board within 5 meters. Is so, like, he doesn't even come skating to these events. He comes with a van and a group of friends, and then they've got all the gear in that van. So no, mostly I do the gear. I take care of my board, those of my friends, and the kids playing around us. So to those I can give a bit of help. So that's what I'm doing right now. Just telling the kids, like they are 10 or 12, how to get better trucks, because there's no, Tommy's board is really solid. He's got the money.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So, yeah, I think Tommy kind of looks up as he sees you approach, and I think maybe the only person he really kind of pays attention to is Lacey. Yeah, and he kind of walks over. I think where your average skateboarder might just put the board on the ground and roll over. He doesn't. He kind of has it tucked under his arm, and comes over to you, Lacey, and maybe looks you up and down and says, "Hey, I noticed you smashed that pipe yesterday.
Well, it was there.
Show some of that today,
if I feel like it. I mean, Tommy, you're the contest guy. I'm just here to get some footage. You want to be part of Mir's team. I want to be on the cover of Thrasher. I want to be the skater of the year. I want the streets to recognize how good I am. You want to be commercial? Go ahead. Have fun. Enjoy it. Get your sponsorships. Make your money. Buy a nice house, sports car, retire. Me, I'll be doing this till I'm dead.
How do you think you're going to get on the cover if you're not doing serious races or getting serious footage? You're good enough, but no one knows about you.
Working on that. But contests, You know, the sport, I mean, contests are what almost killed it. Like all those handstands back in the 70s, just like. Tommy, you're looking for different stuff out of this than I am. You know, you're looking at contests. I'm looking at the lines. I'm looking at how I can get down this hill, what I can do. You know, I don't mind if I go out the hard way. I don't mind grinding a rail over a dam. What I would mind is not having that adrenaline, not having that rush. But you know, you stick with your contests. I'm sure they'll make you comfortable.
You're funny, Lacey. You're funny. You're real funny. That's what I like about you.
And I just kind of roll my eyes and I look at Tori like, get a load of this guy.
Yeah, for sure. Tori looks up from her phone where she was looking at something totally different. Yeah, I got a new camera settings, so it's pretty cool. That can do. Can. Okay, you probably don't want that, but I can add sparkles.
Okay, while you guys are talking like big, I'm playing with the kids around. They are like passing around us, like not like vultures, but they are circling in the mall, and I want to drop a little, those little doses of ultra glue, one doses of glue behind Tommy, so maybe he'll step on it. So we'll have fun. I'm doing that just for the laughs.
And, you know, in the meantime, seeing that Charlie is working with these kids, I'm going to skate over and see if I can help him. Like, you know, teach the kids how to ollie or something like that.
I'll stay with Tommy and show him my sparkle app. And try to figure out, maybe I can try to figure out what he has on my sister. So.
Okay. So maybe this is a is this a shred? I think this is a shred. You're trying to do something.
Oopsie. Okay. Do I need to roll something? Do we have a roller? Or do I just spend points? Oh, I spend points, right?
Yeah. So I'm going to set the difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you're teaching some kids, and you're trying to snoop or figure out what Tommy's game is. I think this. I mean, yeah, I think teaching people about skating could be skater or civilian. I don't know. Maybe it's either approach will work, right?
I'd go with. I'd say it's more like civilian because you're not practicing. Like it's more like a cover.
Yeah, I guess explaining how to do the thing that you can do in your sleep is definitely a different aspect. Okay. And then finding out what Tommy has, I think we'll just give this a blanket difficulty of 4. So here, so we're talking about being in the lead, right? When we start a shred, and this is all about like gaining the favor of Mir, right? So, who do we think is like really taking the lead in this regard?
We're doing two totally different things, though.
Yes, yeah. Well, but also kind of trying to maybe impress Mir, right?
I feel like it's Charlie.
Okay.
Like Charlie's been working with the kids the entire time while I've been talking trash to Tommy, and Tori's been looking at her phone.
Yeah. Okay. Does that sound fair to you?
Yeah, cool. I'm cool with that.
Okay. So, okay.
Of course, for me, the kids, I like being with them, but really, I think it's a perfect cover to watch how people react, how they move around there, to keep an eye on the whole picture.
Yeah, cool. So let's set this as it's pretty straightforward. Though I'll note that no one. Sorry, at any point during our scene so far, has anyone felt like someone has done something worthy of heart points in terms of making their character seem relatable, interesting, or sympathetic?
I think Charlie's had earned a heart point for playing with the kids.
Definitely.
Oh,
So here's a question. Can each player award heart points for the same thing? Or is it
Absolutely.
like,
Yeah.
okay,
So it's any and all other people at the table can award heart points for things.
so definitely I'm with Sabine on this. I want to give Real a heart point as well.
thank you.
And I think also I would like to give one to Lacey for I guess kind of maybe not quite picking a fight with the heel straight out of the gates, but making him know what you think of them with your put down. Okay. So yeah, teaching kids how to do a straightforward ollie that is, I think, pretty simple. I mean, if doing an ollie is a 1, then maybe teaching an ollie to a young kid might be a 2.
Yeah, but really, it's not my goal. My goal is to stress the tummy with those kids.
Okay.
It's more like that. Like they're circling. I tell them, well, try that, and it's over there, and that's where Tommy is talking.
Okay.
Oh, so you're sending the kids to get in Tommy's way and things like
Yeah,
that?
And you're doing the thing with the glue, right?
Yeah, it's I'm setting Tommy for a bad time now.
Okay. I want to help Daryl in this. So how do we assist people in this game?
So in a shred, so I'm the kind of format is this. I'm going to set the difficulty. So the difficulty for this is now a 4, which is kind of getting at Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 things happen. We've established that Charlie's in the lead, so Charlie is going to be spending heart, and that's going to be adding to his civilian score.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, if anyone wants to help him, they do that secretly as well. So there is a drop down. So at the bottom of the character keeper, there's a section called this shred, and so you are spending points. Technical points if you are not leading, heart points if you are leading. And then in the drop down, this is how you help people. So you can give a particular character heart points that add to their total. Okay. So that is, I guess that's the, so let's make the the difficulty for Tori of 4 as well, which is fair. You're trying to find out what Tommy's angle here is.
Real quick, I noticed at the bottom there's also something called this heat, and it says gain a lead point every time you take the lead. Should Charlie have a lead point?
So in the first one, you're not taking the lead really. You just have the lead.
Okay.
So yeah, at the end of this leg, right, we're going to do that.
Okay.
So Sabine, for you, for Tori, we're talking about angling, trying to figure out what Tommy is doing. So again, I think this is going to be a difficulty of 4 on civilian. You're not in the lead, I guess. You're kind of following, so you are using technical as well. Okay, so I guess here we're relying a little bit on you to let me know when you've made your selections in terms of spends and assists. So give me a thumbs up when you're all ready.
Quick question. Do we have to resolve all these things simultaneously? Because it sounds like I can help Tori by spending technical points.
No, to help, it's always hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind then.
So you can, you can attempt to kind of win this leg yourself, but you can also assist someone else.
Okay, so you set the difficulty to 4. Is that it? So I can reach it. Okay, but then I can't help. So do I help or do I? Okay.
Why can't you help?
Because
so in terms of budgeting, if you're spending the only 2 heart points you have to kind of make the shred.
I see. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't see your heart.
It's a problem you don't have. You're a rich kid.
Should we maybe do this one kind of cards up on the table so we can see how it works?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're happy, just tick the reveal box in the bottom right of the shred, and it should make your spends visible to everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Also, am I actually doing something in this shred where I need assistance?
You're part of the shred, so I can just assist you, because just to say, yeah, you're cool, of course, if you don't spend enough, but you did spend enough points. So doesn't matter. The score is still 5 plus my help. So you can still take the lead, even though you're just standing around throwing glue at the floor.
Well, everyone is using civilian in this one, right?
Yeah, and Charlie's spending the glue. So basically helping me with something civilian is tossing away your heart.
Oh, okay, you're right. Okay.
Maybe keep your heart.
Yeah, I think I'll just keep it in that case, because I don't think I have a very close relationship with Charlie just yet.
Yeah.
And so I'm keeping my heart to myself.
So is it now the first shred of a hit?
Yeah, so this is the other thing, I guess, given that we've mechanized this encounter.
It's the first shred of a heat. In that case, I will not spend any points, because I can't succeed anyway.
And it's very good that you have a small stakes first, so you can come back strong.
Okay.
Right.
Cool.
So since I'm spending a heart point to help Charlie, that allows Charlie to spend a heart point to help Sabine, or to help Tori.
No, that heart point just goes towards his score at the end. That determines how well he does on the shred.
Okay.
You don't give him a hard point to do stuff with. You just give him a +1, basically.
Okay. I just want to make sure that because with the difficulty, so we need to hit a difficulty of 4 collectively or individually?
No, individually, because it's competitive, right?
Okay.
Whoever is winning, whoever gets the highest total is taking the lead or keeping the lead.
Okay.
That thing with the reveal box is really clever, I have to say.
Isn't it?
It's magic.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tommy may be using.
Sorry.
Tommy, the opponent.
Tommy, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe spending too.
It's true.
He may be spending. So, yeah.
Yeah, I spent nothing.
But I could force you to reveal how many points you've spent with my diagnostics. Okay.
Yeah, and before you decide how many points to spend. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So So my surprise is not going to have any effect because it's going to be affecting Lacey, because Lacey is the threat here according to Tommy, right?
Do we narrate how we're helping?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So
I think I see a few kids just off to the side, and they're on those little razor scooters. And I walk over to them and kind of pat them on the shoulder and say, hey, you see that guy over there? He loves scooters. You should go show him what you can do. And I'm basically sending scooter kids over to get in Tommy's way, which is, that's a pretty awful thing. If you've ever seen video of scooter kids at a skate park and what happens.
So Daryl, what about Charlie? Why don't you describe exactly how you pull this trick on Tommy? Maybe while he is paying attention to Lacey or whatever.
Yeah. As I said, it's quite a simple trick. I've got one of those little glue tubes. I open it. I get rid of the top, and then I just kneel close to Tommy, behind him, so that when he finishes the conversation, the thing is doing right now, maybe he'll turn back and step on the glue, and that's just my little joke. But when if that works, he will have a hard time gluing or gripping his skate, but maybe just pissing him off. It's just pulling his leg in a way.
Awesome. And I think for Tori, in terms of finding out what Tommy is up to or what Muir feels about him, how do we see her in over her head and not really getting anything out of it?
I think she kind of starts to, she's not just a spy, right? She's in over her head. She starts talking about this sparkle thing, and then she totally awkwardly says, hey, I saw you talking to Mir. You got something on her or something? Like, just blurts it out.
Yeah, and I think he laughs it off and says, "Oh no, me and Mira go way back. That's why we chat. We no, there's nothing going on here. I mean, unless she said something to you.
What? No, we don't talk much. It just. Oh, look, there are scooter children. I have to go.
Okay, awesome. So, yeah, I think you're, when I think Mira makes this grand announcement, and as she is about like starting the race and what's going on, you probably see Tommy, stepping on his board and realizing that his sneakers are sticking to the board when they shouldn't, right? And he like I don't know has to sit down and try to scrape everything off. I think it's like this terrible glue that's getting into the grooves on the soles of the sneakers and such. So yeah, it is maybe 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 people have started right by the time he is kind of back up on his skate proper. That sounds harsh enough for me. What do you think, Daryl? Does that sound good for you?
Yeah, absolutely. He's got a screwdriver to wash the sole, and so he gets let. Perfect.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, so we're gonna make this the same leg. So there's two shreds in this leg, and there's maybe a set of obstacles or a route that Mir has given you, and maybe there'll be like some wayfinding tasks given to you. So the first leg, or the kind of first real skating part of this leg, is skating then this kind of steep and winding road that goes through the burbs on the way to this kind of dry canal or dry drainage ditches down kind of more towards the flat end of town. So yeah, this is, I guess it is kind of as difficult as you want to make it, right? Going down the slope fast is definitely a technical challenge. So let us make this a real skating challenge for starters. The real Charlie is in the lead. So you will be spending heart if you have any left. Otherwise, you'll just be kind of losing the lead, right? Unless there's a setback, which could be a spill or something. So let us make this a difficulty of.
Excuse me. Is a setback is something special, or is it just not getting what you wanted in a leg?
Yeah, so a setback can be getting injured, or it can be just like a fictionally some kind of setback.
Okay.
I think when you're skating, it's probably going to be an injury, but you can skate those off. They kind of temporarily subtract their value from your score.
Okay,
but they disappear pretty quickly.
But it's more than just not succeeding or not taking the lead. It's something strong. Okay.
Yeah, it can be. I mean, sometimes I guess in a race, not being in the lead anymore is kind of good, because you get a little bump from your technical level. whenever the lead is taken from you. You get 3 points back whenever someone takes the lead from you. And similarly, if you just want to catch your breath and not push yourself, you can gain back 5 points instead. So there's some good ways of getting it back up.
Okay.
Though the kind of reminder here is that heart is the real difficult currency to earn, because you've got to kind of stand out or be sympathetic to everyone else at the table. So it's just like a reminder, if you want to give heart points retrospectively for anything, just holler, or maybe bump someone's score back up themselves. Okay. So yeah, I think we've established Tommy is kind of probably the last to leave the starting line, because he is scraping glue off his shoe. So yeah, heading down this steep road down towards the kind of irrigation channels. Okay. So
cool.
So what did I say? The difficulty on this one is gonna be a 5, I think. So it's pretty challenging, skate-wise. And I guess the challenge here is if you're pushing the pace and trying to keep the lead, there's a chance of a spill, or just being kind of way behind. So difficulty 5, so that's the total you're looking for between skater plus technical if you're not in the lead, or heart if you are, and you can spend those heart points if you want to help someone else. Okay.
Cool. Let's do it.
So if we don't spend points, we're taking it easy, we regain 5 technical points.
No.
Is that correct?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, that's not correct. Only if you're in the lead.
Okay.
No. So if you catch your breath, which means you're not spending any points, you're recovering 5 technical points.
Okay.
If you lose the lead, for whatever reason, you're going to get 3 technical points back.
All right.
If you're in the lead and you
3
catch your breath,
points.
you're only getting 5. You're not getting 8.
And there's one thing, when they say in the rules you don't spend any points, that's not counting assisting, because you can always help someone.
You can
that
always
doesn't
help
count.
someone even if you're not spending points on yourself. Yeah. Good catch. So, everyone ready to reveal?
I'm ready.
Okay. So let's reveal.
I can't really do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, you're. If you keep your heart points updated, you'll be able to see exactly what you've got. But
yeah. So I was really jovial after my joke, my prank, but that's all I get. In the race, not much.
Yeah, so Tommy spent 4 points, which brings him up to 6 total. So I think we still have
I think Lacey's in the lead.
Yeah.
So Sabine, were you because I remember you had that set up from the shred.
No,
when
that
we were helping the kids.
I wasn't helping the kids. I'm helping you, and now I can.
Okay.
Now it makes sense because that Tommy guy is kind of creepy.
Right?
So why don't we start with Tori then? How are you helping or maybe hindering Tommy? How are you helping Lacey?
I am, I mean, I said I'm kind of hero worshipping Lacey, and what I'm doing is I'm trying to copy what she's doing, and I'm doing it badly because I don't really know what's what here, right? And so what I do is I imagine that I fall down or something, but I fall down in Tommy's way. It's not actually intentional. In so much, it's more like, I was trying to copy Lacey and I kind of missed that Tommy was behind me. I thought he would be in front of me.
So yeah, I think he has to pick up speed and maybe swings by Tori. Maybe Tori's taking the better line anyway. So he has to take a detour to catch up with Lacey. What about Charlie? What do we see of Charlie on this?
Yeah, Charlie's not. He's a bit slow, really. Maybe because he listens too much reggae music. So he's just going down the slopes. He's not like racing down. And at some point, there's a girl going with her bike, crossing like the slope is going quite fast down, and he has to stop to let her go, to let her pass, and then he knows that was not the right leg for him.
Yeah, I think does she stop and do you have a quick chat with her, or is it just like a stop to leave her pass safely, or is there some kind of other
it's like
connection?
She can pass safely and she doesn't notice.
Okay. So I think you have to take another heart from me on that one as well.
Making it relatable.
Yeah.
Thank you for noticing.
I think you might have got one for reggae as well.
I will definitely give a heart point for being slow due to listening to reggae. And also I want to give Tori a heart point just because of it's adorable watching her try to do that. And I make a mental note that it's like, I've really got to help her work on her heel flip.
Yeah, but didn't you make it look so easy? I really thought I could do it.
You can. You just got to practice, It's not like I grew up being able to do this stuff just on my own or like naturally. I had to practice like crazy.
Now go win your race, Lacey.
I want to say also that, like you said, Paquette, that Tori's naivety. I don't know if you say naivety.
Yeah, naivete. Yeah.
Her naivety is touching.
It's endearing, yeah.
So Puckett, I mean, Tommy is coming up hard on the outside, maybe a little bit less of a great line than you took. But why didn't you kind of describe how you close out this leg of the race?
Ollie down a stair set. It's not a small stair set either. We're talking like 14 stairs. But I also know that Tommy can't do that.
Might have to grind down the banister
handrail
railing.
Yeah.
Okay, so take a point of a lead.
Lead point.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So.
And can that be a heart too? Because it's so flashy.
It's so daredevil.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, take a heart.
Okay. And if any of you are curious about what a truly gnarly stair set looks like, look up I think it's probably pronounced Leon 25 on YouTube.
I guess let's dig a little bit deeper into this heart point for Lacey. Like, does she give Tommy a look, or is she like cold, or what's her demeanor when she's doing this thing that she knows that he cannot match?
It's confidence. It's like this is basically the only place where Lacey is in her element, being on a board, doing something reckless. She doesn't do well with people. I mean, she has zero civilian. This is the only thing in her life that she's good at. And it's less her smirking or something like that as it is just watching someone who is in their zone, and that kind of jubilation when they pull off something that's still really kind of impressive, like clearing a boss in Dark Souls. It's that kind of simultaneous relief and happiness. I mean, it's like, just because Tommy can't do it doesn't mean Lacey always can with a stair set like that.
So yeah, I think maybe when Tommy sees this, maybe he sees it too late. Maybe he didn't realize Lacey was this hardcore. Like, he has to change from, like, I don't know, maybe an 8-step or a 9-step ollie, which he could manage to do a grind. And he curses, maybe cursing himself and not not Lacey, but like, or maybe it's a goddamn of appreciation, right, of her skills at this moment.
I do suffer a setback, by the way.
Who should suffer a setback?
I failed to do the thing, and
That
I
is
tried,
true.
but I did not make it. I just tumbled in Tommy's way, which was nice, but not what I wanted from this.
So what kind of, do you like go through a bush or end up on your knees, or what kind of setback are you looking for?
SGM determines the results.
Okay.
But going through a bush sounds awesome.
I think you like lose your grip, or are going too fast through this one corner, and you just go through a garden, go through some kind of box hedge.
Sorry. Oops. I'll try to put the. No, wait. I should know. Try to put the branches. Well.
I was thinking in pure comedy style. You go straight through it, and parts of it are still on you or on the board as you sweep through it.
In that case, I yell back, "Sorry."
Yeah, but I still want to give a hard point for the idea of like trying to put the branches back in some kind of order.
I'm sorry about that. Anyway, I take a hard point anyway. Next shred, I can use hard points even if I'm not on the lead.
Make it 2 hard points. I love the comic scenes.
So one good thing to maybe suggest at this point is that maybe there's a piece of this box plant stuck in your truck. Stuck in Tori's truck, and maybe she needs Charlie to make a few adjustments.
Oh, that would be yeah. What's that branch doing there?
That's my next move.
Okay, so I think we're done with this, right?
Yeah.
Lacey's won, and we're done for now. And afterwards, Tori sits around like trying to get this branch out of her tracks and like being a little frustrated because she doesn't want to damage the board. Obviously, wasn't cheap, and she's not likely to get a new one. But and looks around a bit helplessly.
So, Daryl, do you want to read off your few adjustments gimmick, and we'll do a few.
Yeah, but when I arrive, is the skate out of order, or is it?
No, it's not out of order.
I mean, it's not out of order, but there's definitely something hinky with the trucks, right? That could use some adjustment.
Okay, that's why we've got those big pockets on the pants.
Mm-hmm.
It's for hoarding all kind of tools,
mm-hmm.
and a pipe wrench.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like 10 seconds undoing a bolt, getting the stick out, and bolting it again.
Wow, that was fast. Thank you.
Just call me James Bond.
I think you're a bit nicer than James Bond. At least I hope.
That's the gesture with my wrench.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool.
So the upside for Tori is you treat your relevant aptitude as being 2 points higher on your next shred.
Yay!
And Charlie gets 4 heart points.
Woo! Thank you, Tori, for getting into a bush.
Okay, and I think we are due another break. So how does 5 minutes sound?
Works for me.
Okay, we are back. So yeah, let's go to our second leg, which is these kind of storm drainage sections. Not sure what you call them in the States.
Depends on how big it is, but it's probably just a pipe.
Yeah, well, just.
Are we talking about just one that's open at the top, or it goes all the way around? Or
I think a bit of both. Maybe there's some proper tunnels going on as well.
Okay.
So I guess a mix.
That's probably just a culvert or a pipe. Drainage ditch also works.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, I think this is a chance to do something pretty technical. How you gotta have some speed built up from even if you get back skating before the end of the burbs to get into this culvert. What do you think your approach is going to be? Let's start with Lacey, given that she is in the lead.
The point of this is getting to the end, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's a race of sorts, but it's not. It's not purely fastest with the mostest. There's going to be a non-technical leg.
So we don't want to bleed off too much speed. Assuming that the ditch is of sufficient distance, I'm just going to ride it like a half pipe, that probably stretches on quite a bit longer than most half pipes. So, I'm not going to do anything too fancy. like backside 180, front side 360. Probably, I'm just going to keep it simple.
Okay.
Just a few airs, a little bit of pumping back and forth to maintain speed and try to get a little bit more, use the torque and the rotation to move faster.
Yeah. So let's make this difficulty 7.
Okay. And I can only spend heart points when I'm in the lead, correct?
Points, yeah.
Okay.
How about Tori? You're not in the lead, so you're able to spend technical. And you're getting a +2 bonus from your
I'm able to spend heart points. I'm able to spend heart points because of the thing that Charlie did to my skateboard, and it feels like this is a different thing. Something must have been wrong from the beginning. Wow. I'll just again copy Lacey, maybe a little better this time, and I might even get a little I don't know, I think since we're not doing this fancy stuff, just speed. Yeah, I think that's Tori's thing. Just speed, like race your heart out. Just get more speed and in any way that you can. And yeah, I think she likes this. She really likes this.
Okay, and how about Charlie? I mean, first of all, I guess when you send Tori off with her well-working skateboard, did you say anything, or do we see Charlie react to that in any way?
Well, we had a little photograph moment where I pretend to be James Bond.
Conversation there.
But except from that, I'm a bit. I'm not very physical, so I'm sweating. I'm lagging behind, so I guess I won't see Tori much. As long as it's as speed is involved, I won't see her much. She's way ahead of me.
Okay. And are you gonna use your diagnostics at all?
I thought Tommy can spend, right?
Yeah.
Whenever we spend, is going to spend too.
Yeah, exactly. So I've selected my spend for him already.
And I need to, of course, I'm going to spend 2, and I need to know how much. Yes, I want to know, but he can still do a surprise. We know that he's the kind of guy who would put a surprise. So I'd like to know how much Tommy spent.
He is spending 5.
5, so that's put him in there, and then 2, 5, 7. The difficulty is how much?
7.
The threshold 7. Yeah. So I need to.
And remember, you're spending technical right now because you are not in the lead.
Yeah, except for assist.
Yeah.
So that will be. I'm barely able. Okay, I know what I do, and I know how much I spend. Only I revealed it. Oh, too bad.
Okay, it's okay. Everyone else has, I think, made a decision.
Has played,
so,
yeah.
And just to be clear, I'm taking how do you phrase it? Taking it easy when you're in the lead?
So yeah, if you're not spending any points at all, you are taking a breather or taking a breath.
Okay. Does that include helping other skaters?
You can still help. So in this point, Puckett, your technical points are full, are they? Or have you been keeping track?
I don't think I've actually used any technical points yet.
Because you've been in the lead, right? Or not spending. So the taking a breath gives you technical points back, but you can't
But it
go
wouldn't
past your
exceed my
maximum.
current. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
gotcha.
So, but yes, taking a breath doesn't preclude you from helping someone else.
Okay.
Okay. So we all ready to finalize our spends and reveal?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. So, are you helping someone in particular? 'Cause you
Yeah.
just have,
Sorry, I didn't.
yeah,
I wanted to help Lacey.
Okay.
In case Tommy would pull a surprise.
Yeah, of course. But you did. So, let's work it out. Okay. So with 2 assists for 5 points, Lacey is getting up to 10, and even with a -3 for Tommy's
Oh, I'm sorry. I
surprise.
forgot to. I didn't want to assist Lacey this time.
Oh.
I forgot to put it away. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Lacey. I forgot to help you this time because I was in the rush of
That's okay.
speed. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So you were not helping anyone; you were helping yourself.
Yeah. Yes, I'm just enjoying this
Being
this
fast.
new
Yeah.
the way this sport works now. I'm just enjoying that so much. That's so fun.
Okay, awesome. So in that case, Lacey is not winning this leg. It is in fact Tommy who is winning this leg.
Ha!
But Tommy pulled a surprise on me, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So does that mean he can't use it again?
How does Tommy win this leg exactly?
Because he's using it as a surprise.
Oh, okay, and that means that he automatically wins.
No, he subtracts 3 from your score, from one
Okay.
person's score.
But from Lacey's, not from mine.
Yeah.
My
So
score-
it'll be
my
a
score
tie.
is- My score
you
is
would both be
11.
7.
I'm at 11, and
Oh, you're
I'm at 11. I spent 6. My skater is 3 right now because of the adjustments. It's 9, and I get help from Lacey's 11.
Oh, sorry, I missed the help. Yeah,
Yeah.
I had you getting up to 9.
What do you think that looks like? Do you think I slingshot you, or do you think I'm just cheering you on?
I think maybe you're just cheering me on because you're taking it slow, right? And you see Lacey come shooting up because, and like with this total gleam of joy in her face, like she's never gone that fast. And maybe you're just okay. Let her do this for at least this one run.
I mean, I'm at least yelling like in support to say, because it's like I'm seeing that joy in your face, and I'm like, now you're getting it. You understand. Now you get why we do this.
Whee!
So,
You get a heart for that cheering.
I want to give you a heart for that we.
Thank you.
I mean, that's just freaking adorable.
So what do you think the surprise looks like for Lacey? Is like Tommy cutting you off, or spoiling your line, or is it a bit rougher than that? What do you think? Okay. You're muted, just in case.
Sorry about that. Of course I muted myself. I think this is just basically me taking, because I'm taking it easy and I'm not spending any points. I think as I'm just like in this ditch doing my errors, he just kind of cruises past, chasing after Tori.
Yeah, and I think maybe
I think he's focused and I'm just enjoying it.
Yeah, I think maybe in one of the tunnels, he can do a full 360 in this pipe, in this tunnel. Just pretty impressive. but nothing that Lacey hasn't done 5 times before breakfast on a regular Saturday, right? And Daryl, what does this look like from Charlie's point of view?
Well, from behind, I can't cheer much Lacey. So what I do is I just drive by mostly. I've got a good technique in the when it's sufficiently I don't know how to say it, when the surface is really sleek, when I can take some speed, then I do some grabs in the half pipe, and that's really casual. Of course I'm a racer, but I'm going casually fast. And while I attract the attention of some kids and photographs, I see they are filming with their phones. So I give them the Instagram of Lacey Carter, so they can find her, and they wondered who was the girl ahead with the leather jacket, and she will be known.
Awesome.
Little do I know that Tori is making the bomb at the head of the race.
So Pocket Lacey is not making the total on this one, not making a 7. So in terms of setback, do you think there's
Sorry?
like you're taking a scrape up against the wall, getting a little bit injured, or do you think there's something else that seems more appropriate to you?
How do you feel about breaking the tail off my board?
Is that just because of the like rough wall, or you hit a bad bump, or something else?
Just landing.
Okay.
I landed and my feet weren't over the trucks precisely, so it just like snapped off the back, and I've got to basically ride switch for the rest of it.
Okay, sounds like you might need a pit stop, right?
If this were such a thing, I mean, the pit stop at this point is literally just replacing the entire deck.
Well, you've got a board right coming up right behind you, right? So
yeah.
I think that's definitely on the cards.
Yeah.
Okay, so your next leg maybe gives you a chance to take a break and catch up over some board repair, but you have to pick up some coffees for Mir, or as part of this group at this busy cafe on this highly unlikely for Los Angeles maybe, but on this pedestrian street. So what does this look like between Charlie and Lacey?
Is the race over, or
no? This is still part of the race. Picking up coffees. You're gonna have to make a delivery, of course, but.
So we don't sit in the coffee. That's not our style. So maybe we grab 2 coffees in styrofoam cups, and we go skating those coffees out. Or do you need to rest? Do you feel you need to rest?
And we need like lids and probably stoppers on them as well, just to keep the coffee from spilling on the way to get it to mirror.
Of course, lids. Yeah.
How about
maybe a tray, even.
Yeah, that would. I mean, it's going to be a whole lot easier to do it that way than just like try to hold coffees.
So maybe, they give out trays. We just have to take it back. It's for the offices.
Oh no,
they used to do
there's disposable like recyclable trays, like paper trays that you get.
Yeah, that'll hold 2 or 4 cups. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, with 2, you just load them in diagonally, so you've got the weight evenly distributed, and then carry it on the corner. Not that I ever did
I
this.
look down at your board, and your board is like squeaking. So what do we do with that?
I mean, the tail's broken, so there's, I'm just gonna have to get it. I'll have to steal a new deck after this. It's no big.
No, but right now maybe we can hit up Mir for spare parts.
I mean, it'd basically be borrowing her board.
Oh, we could get one of the kids, but they're not your size at all. So it's Mir or nothing.
Do I notice that conversation?
I think you zoomed ahead because
Yeah.
apparently we stopped to get coffee while you were still skating.
Oh, so I'm not competing in this leg. Okay.
No, everyone is picking up coffee. So yeah,
Okay.
that's the
Yeah.
leg.
Okay.
I'm just kind of trying to see if the board problem is something that can be fixed with an adjustment, or do we think it's much more serious than that?
All right, so let's rewind and retcon it a little bit, because we're talking about fixing it.
No. Really, I think we should get a new board, and from someone. And the question is who?
Maybe the kids followed Mir to the coffee shop.
I mean, if I notice that, I will totally offer you my board. Because, I mean, you've got to win this. Come on. Not that Tommy creep.
Or maybe we can loot Tommy's van.
I mean, if somebody's there with it, yeah, we could easily do that.
Like, we pick up another tray of coffee, and we go paying a round of coffees to everybody. That would work.
Mm-hmm. All we have to do is distract him.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Tommy has a replacement set up somewhere.
I mean, I guess the difficulty here is, right, like all the people you mentioned are back on top of the hill or maybe driving to the finish line, right? They are not keeping up with you on the skateboards, right?
Yeah.
So, but you can. I think we've established Lacey is a bit of a light-fingered thief, right? So maybe there's a skate shop on this section of town.
Okay, let's do this. Yeah.
You distract him, I'll grab.
But that's illegal,
Everything fun is illegal. I mean, half of what we do is illegal. I mean, all those signs that say no skateboarding, all those ordinances that let the cops give us tickets. Like even the ditches, we're not supposed to be skating in those. We can get arrested for trespassing.
Well, just by the look of me, he might arrest me. So what if he grabs? What if he yells at me?
Run.
I can't do that. That's ridiculous.
I mean, it is ridiculous. You should skate.
Okay, downhill, and then we meet
The
someplace.
one thing I do want to stress is that if we're going to do this, it's got to be from, not that such places exist really anymore, but we're in a game. So a nice corporate skate shop, not like a local indie skate shop that like desperately, like, they need to not be stolen from. So.
But you'll pay them later anyway.
I mean, you steal from the places that are screwing up the culture. You don't steal from the places that are supporting it,
So you're like Robin Hood.
Kinda.
Okay, we'll talk about that later. So
I guess this is a mix of getting coffees and getting a replacement board. So let's make this a difficulty of 4. This is all civilian.
I was afraid of that.
Yeah, good thing I'm not in the scene.
Well, Sabine Tori can be just getting coffee like she's supposed to, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And Tori's in the lead. So spending heart points.
So the thing is, I need. Does it change if I'm not if I'm stealing instead of diverting? Does that give us a chance?
Well, if you're, I guess you have options in terms of stealing versus diverting. But I guess if you were diverting, you're helping, right? But you will be both spending technical points. I guess because you're not in the lead. So
okay,
it's definitely more doable, albeit it's working off your civilian base for Lacey. So for both of you, but
yeah, more expensive for Lacey.
Yeah.
How much did you say? Like 7?
Difficulty 5, I think I said.
5. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I can spend technical points to do this?
Yeah.
Okay. You said the difficulty is 5, correct?
Yeah, 5.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, you're all good?
Oh, crud. I was like looking at the wrong thing. All right. I'm ready.
You ready to reveal your spend, Sabine?
Okay, I need to spend stuff, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so you're doing your coffee run. So
Yeah,
you were in the lead, so you're using
really
civilian.
not interested in that coffee run. No, I'm sorry, I don't much care because there's a cool thing going on and I'm getting coffee. I'm sorry, I'm not really cool with this actually.
So what do you want to do?
I mean, the scene is over, so I'm guess I'll get coffee and we can just leave me out of this right now because this is just I'm really not into getting coffee while everybody else is going stealing, right? That is not.
Yeah, I guess the shred was the coffee run, but if that's fine.
I mean, I can spend some I will spend some points to just, so I just have done something, and then that's fine.
Daryl is saying they can't hear, disconnected.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's bad. Can you hear us now? Maybe. I hear someone typing.
That'll be me.
That's not me. Oh, you're typing. Okay.
Let me just pause while we. Okay, so let's do our quick spend if we're all ready.
Mm-hmm.
So, Daryl, do you want to reveal your spends? Okay. Okay. So, what have we got? I guess we do have a bunch of 7s.
Yeah, we're all at 7.
Yep. So let's start with Charlie, maybe. See how you're setting. No, let's start with Tori. Let's see how you're doing your coffee run while helping Charlie do the setup for the stealing.
I think I'll just, there's a security guard who's hanging around that kind of area, and Tori are quite flush with victory and triumph from her successful run. She nearly runs into him. She avoids him. She swerves at the last moment and yells sorry at him. I won! And he's looking at her and just trying to figure out he should arrest her. And I think that helps out with Charlie, whatever he's doing, because he doesn't want that security guard to notice what he's doing. And then she goes to the coffee shop and gets near the coffee that she knows her half-sister likes. So it's pretty undramatic.
Okay, and Real, how about Charlie?
So I'm trying to be a thief and a liar too. So I arrive at the shop like I don't know really how to skate, and I ask very silly questions to the at the desk. I want to see those trucks and that with that wheel, and I've got parts from my board, and I don't know if they fit. And I try to ask every sort of question that will make the seller go in the back shop, in the back room of the shop, and fetch this and fetch that. And maybe there's one seller and a woman that is in charge of the shop, and at some point the seller is so he doesn't know how to take care of that, and the woman from the shop has to take care of it herself.
And how do we see Lacey swoop in to take advantage of this then?
I just literally walk in, walk behind the counter, grab a blank deck, and walk out. Just brazen as can be.
Yeah. Cool. I think Tommy is probably walking by at just the wrong moment and gets grabbed by this security guy because he looks like a skater and can't be trusted. He has that look about him, obviously. And maybe he sees you off in the distance skating away, and like he protests his innocence, but he knows you gotta like pay up. He's gotta pay for the board to get free. And he says, "Oh yeah, sorry, those are my friends. I was supposed to pay for that or something." He says something like that to kind of get off the hook and get out of there before the cops are called or anything. So that's a three-way tie. Sorry, do you want to add on here?
No.
So the rules tell us on a tie, the people who are tying should have another shred to see who gets the lead. It seems strange. And in the event of a second tie, rock, paper, scissors is the rule. So I don't know. Do you want to do that, or do you just want to decide who takes the lead from here?
I'm fine with. I'm totally okay with Tori taking the lead because she wasn't really involved as much with the whole stealing shenanigans. So it makes sense to me that she would take the lead, or that they would take the lead.
Prefer that we don't do another shred because
They're coming up on time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
we're not. We're nearly at time, so.
And it's self-evident. That is, our different situations narratively. It's like Tori, she's out of it very fast.
Mm-hmm.
Then Lacey, then me. So I think she's got the lead. All right.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's. So Tori is kind of in the lead with the 2 cups of coffee in tow as you like get to the finish line, which is like some parking lot or something like that, where maybe you see the people waiting to see who comes out ahead. What's Tori's approach? Is she throwing any moves or doing anything as she crosses the finish line? What's her style here in her moment of victory?
She stands there and is totally confused. Like, what? Where's the winner? Must be a winner here, right? Can't be me. I'm a newbie. And once she realizes that maybe she actually won, she's like, whoa, that was wow. Yeah, and she will take a selfie with anybody who wants that because she's a kid.
Yeah, I think Mir like skates up to you and like completely glomps you. Probably both falling off the skateboards with the force of that. And I don't know, maybe this was the outcome she secretly wished for, and who knows? She knew you were a proper skater all along, right?
That Charlie guy fixed my board. That was so good. I'd never was so fast.
How about Lacey and Charlie? How do they cross the finishing line?
I roll up, jump off my, like run off my board and basically, and Sabine, if this isn't okay, tell me, kind of tackle Tori in a hug.
That is
As
totally
I'm like
fine.
yelling and screaming and celebrating and saying, I'm so proud of you. You earned this. You deserve this.
I just did what you did. And I drove into a bush. But it was so much fun.
That's exactly. This is supposed to be fun.
Yeah, wow. That pipe when we went down there, that was, whoa. Never been so
Right.
fast. I want to try to jump down these stairs next.
First things first, okay?
Okay.
Let's get you started on like, you know, a 6 stair, a 9 stair, something like that.
Okay.
Let's keep you on stuff that's a little more manageable and
Okay.
a little less risk for injury if you bail.
I can do it.
I know you can. I believe in you.
I can totally do it.
And me, I'm not last, no, absolutely not, but I'm way behind, and I'm totally mimicking like I'm a gangster. Now in his head, Charlie is his big gun because he's been helping a thief in a skateboard shop, and he's like posing for photographs and stuff. That's not like him, and is changed in that way. And yeah, is joining the group, high-fiving with friends, and is thinking it's something big.
Oh, I will. If Charlie shows up, Tori will definitely go and hug him if that's okay with him. Because without you fixing that board, I would never have been so fast. I would never dare to be so fast. It was all you, man. It was all you. And Lacey.
And some tools, yeah. So yeah, he's surprised by the hug, and it's okay.
Cool.
Yeah, and I think, you know, a couple of minutes later, probably Tommy comes in, probably trying to look more casual or more laid back about this than he really is. But, you know, I think he kind of loses relatively gracefully. But I think, you know, maybe he says it to Lacey afterwards that, you know, he still feels like winning would have been worth it. So he's not completely letting himself off the hook in terms of not delivering, right? So yeah, he is. He's not trying to pretend he doesn't care about winning, I guess. Maybe I'm not sure if that is a saving grace for a heel, but you know, he's being honest about it at least. Okay, cool. Maybe we want to do a quick like vignette or epilogue for characters, you know, maybe on the trip or next time we see them doing something flashy. We go around again. Puckett, you want to show his closing scene for Lacey?
So it's a few weeks later, and true to her word, Lacey is a handrail over a dam. And then she just hops down and rides off. Nobody filming, just some onlookers like, oh my God, what are you? Thinking that she's trying to hurt herself or something like that. And she just rides off.
How about Tori?
I think I like the image of Tori in the hospital. Her leg is in a cast. She's not very down with this whole thing. There are flowers around her, and she has this new deck with flowers painted on it, which is nice. And she's in a good mood. She almost made it. Okay, maybe she shouldn't have tried this before she was ready. But hey, next time it will be fine. She will do it next time.
Okay, and what about Charlie?
Well, Charlie is at home, and there are some kids from the neighborhood, maybe friends from his sisters and brothers, and he's like bragging, like telling tall tales of how he helped the next winner of the nationals. Sure, she's gonna win the nationals. Tori, she's a real genius. And is yeah, not in a good place, maybe bragging in front of kids.
Yeah, but I think everyone knows how much of a wizard Charlie is with his boards now, right?
Yeah, all right.
Okay, cool. So I guess we'll stop the recording and do our debrief.